After the rumors grew that Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet had started dating, a surprising number of people commented with shock at how private Kylie is, simply because she didn't hard launch the relationship. So are our standards for celebrity privacy that low, that we're shocked if someone like Kylie has anything in her life she's not broadcasting to the paparazzi? Today we're so primed to expect famous people to share everything, we get blindsided when they still have secrets, especially with those known for being overexposed.
I can't just not live my life and hide in the house. But it's like, I just wish people wouldn't touch on certain things.
Like your relationships?
Like my relationships.
But since these are actual humans, even those most in the public eye continue to have secrets, and a striking celebrity trend today is the subtle clawing back of privacy. Here's our take on how some celebrities are trying to regain a smidgen of privacy today, and whether they and we can achieve that in the era where nothing is seemingly off limits. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and attempts at privacy, or pretending to seek it, can sometimes be a calculated part of a brand image. Kylie Jenner is someone who has always given a lot of herself away. As a socialite, reality TV star, and perennially online celebrity who started on this path as a child, this ubiquity was arguably key to building her brand, and once that brand was built, in some aspects she seemed to take a step back from oversaturating herself. Even before this new rumored relationship with Chalamet, she kept her pregnancy secret and the name of her kids secret, all of which fueled interest in her more than if she had simply kept everyone in the loop.
Did I just crack the code for Kylie Jenner's baby name?
Kylie's not featured in nearly as much screen time as her older sisters on Hulu's The Kardashians, and she doesn't film any romantic-oriented content. If you contrast her with someone like Selena Gomez, who puts so much of herself online, we can see why celebrities might want to hold back a little of who they are. Gomez's openness partly stemmed from her bipolar disorder diagnosis, and her belief that by talking about it on her considerable platform, she could work to destigmatize it.
I think that, for me, I'm really big on vulnerability.
But she's also shared the downsides of being this open and available to the public. Speaking to Vanity Fair, she told them that the amount of trolling she received was incredibly damaging and led to her handing over all her socials to her team to manage for her. These people get detailed. They write paragraphs that are so specific and mean, I couldn't do it anymore. It was a waste of my time.
And she just seems so defeated in this video, so people stop being mean.
But maybe what people don't realize about privacy is that it takes a lot of work. Beyoncé is one of the most famous people in the world, but at the same time, very little is known about her. During the Black Lives Matter protests, many were critical that her and Jay-Z weren't publicly supporting the movement, before it was revealed that secretly they donated millions to social justice causes. She told Elle, "In this business, so much of your life does not belong to you unless you fight for it. I've fought to protect my sanity and my privacy because the quality of my life depended on it." But it's clear she still has to breadcrumb some of her life to keep her fans happy.
Continue to change and dismantle a racist and unequal system. We have to continue to do this together.
Taylor Swift is on that same level of celebrity, but is able to control her public narrative through the Easter eggs she leaves in her songs. These clues allow fans to try and piece together an idea of what her private life is like, while giving her agency as to what and how she shares.
I can make myself seem like someone who doesn't have an abnormal life. And I try that every day.
And maybe those Easter eggs or tidbits of information that people like Taylor and Beyoncé drip feed out are about striking the balance between giving your fans enough to create that connection whilst maintaining that unknowability that fans find so alluring. So once that mystique has been cultivated, how do celebrities keep it going? Musicians like MF Doom and Daft Punk were both huge stars, but shrouded their image in a sense of mystery by disguising their identity with a mask. Doom in particular would reportedly send imposters to his gigs instead of him, adding another layer to his mystique. Right now, there's a lot of speculation in the UK about a new rapper called Died, who is believed to be a well-known professional footballer hiding behind a mask.
And you know how it is, they're gonna put it in the paper like which baller is this?
When Gorillaz burst onto the scene, even though people knew who the people involved were, part of their popularity and the interest around them was the fact that they were adopting these cartoon avatars, and their stage shows would be effectively projections of these characters. Sia is another who, as her fame rose, began to hide behind a giant fringe and ceded center stage to dancers and other performers while she sang in the wings. Without this branding, would people care as much about the music? We see how this air of mystery extends to other art forms too. too. Bill Murray may have started out as an SNL alumni comic actor, but in his later years, he's become known for more esoteric roles and working with fashionable auteurs like Wes Anderson, Jim Jarmusch, and Sofia Coppola. At the same time, he's developed a reputation as an actor almost deliberately out of step with convention, working without an agent, asking for scripts to be left in nearby P.O. boxes. And at the same time, his reputation has been buoyed by a slew of strange, apocryphal-sounding stories where Bill Murray has had odd, everyday interactions with ordinary people, showing up at house parties, crashing engagement shoots, stealing people's fries. So much so that it inspired its own documentary.
Bill Murray could just sort of like arrive in your life for a few minutes.
With these celebrities, it's as if knowing who the real person is, the private person, is kinda not the point. And if anything, it would spoil your understanding or enjoyment of who that person is. A more recent example is the mysterious Twitter account Drill, known only for his heavily memed, heavily viral tweets and a single Jack Nicholson avatar. When he was doxxed in 2017, people weren't happy they knew who this person was. They were kinda annoyed that the mystery had been ruined.
I am, of course, your host, Drill.
His real voice is garbled by a modulator.
These celebrities have cracked the code. They've managed to cultivate a public image that is so interesting that their private life is overlooked, and so they seem to live without too much attention. But for celebrities who haven't gone to those lengths, shouldn't there be a line in the sand that we don't cross anyway? So what's the difference between a private life and a personal life? Recently, tabloids have published paparazzi photos of Jack Nicholson, Gene Hackman, and Bridget Fonda, writing about how they're reclusive, rarely seen, or how they've been spotted for the first time in years. The Guardian's Stuart Heritage argues it's a form of entitlement, sardonically writing, "How dare they retire? Don't these people know they belong to us?"
Looks disheveled. Yo! Do you know what 85 years old looks like?
This tension emerged in the wake of the deaths of David Bowie and Chadwick Boseman, too. While these tragedies seemed sudden to us, it was then revealed that both had been sick for a long time, and the news just was shared with the public later. Often this was framed as them battling their illness privately, but with something like that, why would they share it with the general public? There's a similar tension with other deeply personal things like pregnancies or sexuality. Heartstopper's Kit Connor was pressured into coming out after appearing in the show, with fans seemingly wanting to know whether or not his sexual identity matched the character he was playing. "Congrats for forcing an 18-year-old to out himself. I think some of you missed the point of the show," he tweeted.
It's called bisexuality, if you've heard of that.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I wasn't born in the 18th century.
Taylor Swift has faced criticism around the question of whether she could be queer from multiple angles. Some people say she's not queer and accuse her of queer-baiting with songs like Lavender Haze, while others believe she is queer and not publicly clarifying her sexual orientation to avoid hurting her income. Yet underlying all this is the questionable assumption that she must divulge and explain her orientation to the public. Understandably, many celebrities are the most privacy-oriented when it comes to their kids, often trying to shield their kids from overexposure or criticizing paparazzi that go after young people, but not always with much success in getting the media machine to leave their children alone. Famously, Grimes and Elon Musk's second baby was only made public when an interview overheard a crying child in the upstairs room while interviewing Grimes about her music. In the interview, Devin Gordon wrote, "I suggest we pause for a moment to discuss the surreal professional ethics at play, which are that I can't pretend I don't know she's got a secret baby with the world's wealthiest man hiding upstairs." Even in that wording, there's an idea that Grimes' private life is now in the public interest, and there's an ethical imperative dictating that it has to be shared in this interview.
Is it weird doing this, like right now, like talking to me?
Oh yeah, I'm like shaking and sweating profusely.
Of course, a tragic example of this entitlement to a celebrity's private life has to be Princess Diana, whose death was a direct result of her being hounded by the paparazzi. And even before that, people's hunger to know personal aspects of her life deeply affected her mental health. She had to literally pretend to be someone else when out in public.
Aren't you going to say hello?
Hello.
Today, we still see the royals experiencing the same pressure. Harry and Meghan have recently become the butt of jokes for speaking at length about wanting privacy while also seeking attention and lucrative entertainment deals.
We want privacy! We want privacy!
And some people argue that sacrificing a lot of your privacy is part of the bargain. If you live your life in the public eye, especially as a celebrity in reality TV or participating in any kind of autobiographical media, you can't expect total control over when they're going to look at you. But it's also entirely unnatural and unsustainable for anyone to be constantly exposed to the public eye without losing their sanity, humanity, and ability to lead an authentic, interesting life. When it comes to debates around privacy, is our culture too far gone to ever go back to something that feels like it would work for all sides?
Private behavior is a relic of a time gone by, and if somehow, someway you've managed to live your life like the Dalai Lama, they'll make shit up.
The bigger reason we should care about these questions is that they don't just affect a famous few. All of us are now operating with a lot less privacy than ever. So if we too choose to share aspects of our lives on social media or online forums, does that mean we're less entitled to draw lines and control what others know about us? You undoubtedly do have to give away something of yourself when living in the public eye, but that doesn't mean it's right when people take more than you're offering. Ultimately, there has to be a line in the sand, and each human gets to decide that line for themselves. That's the take. Click here to watch a video we think you'll love, or here to check out a whole playlist of awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.